What up, folks? Welcome back to ULTRAZILLA Toys, and today I have a review of the SH Monsterarts Ohrai Noriyoshi poster version Godzilla. This is based on the movie poster of Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 1993, wherein Godzilla is squaring off against Mechagodzilla with these lightsaber katana blades. Okay, so he's not doing that. But I had them around from my last review of this guy, and I just felt like it worked. And it does work. I like it. Can Godzilla have katana blades that light up? Please? 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 I guess I can't. What? It would be a difference, right? You guys like it. It is based on this poster right here, this movie poster, which I love. I remember going to a convention in the mid-90s and seeing this on, I think it was just like the cover of like the bootleg DVDs. And not even DVDs, the VHS tapes, I should say, and flipping out for this. When I finally saw Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla, I was disappointed because none of these, well, Godzilla kind of looked like that, but Mechagodzilla did not look like that, and Rodan didn't quite look like that. But Mechagodzilla was the big disappointment. But this is a nice little postcard that we get from SH Monsterarts, commemorating this, and it comes with this Godzilla. So very nice. And it's good to kind of compare. They did get the color right that Noriyoshi colored his Godzilla with. Very cool, and as you can see, they went with the light up dorsal fins there. So very cool as well. So I like that they included this. This is a nice little piece. So just a little cardboard, but it's pretty cool. This, of course, is a repaint of the Rebirth Godzilla, yet another repaint of this one. So which is actually just in itself kind of repainted from the original Burning Godzilla. So yeah, it's been around even before this one, but we always call it this one just because that's the plain one. Here's another version of that, the EVA 01, and those are really the only comparisons I'm gonna do as far as this Godzilla with this, because we've seen it before, and that's enough. How many of these guys should I bring out? So there you go. What I won't also be bringing out is the also recent released Chogokin Tamashi mix Mechagodzilla that is based on this. We will take a look at this guy further in that review once I get to it. I haven't taken that guy out of the package yet, and I wanted to get a Godzilla review in there, mostly because we've had some Godzilla news. So this will be, I'm gonna take a short aside right now and do a quick PSA for folks not in the know. If you do collect SH Monsterarts, recently we was revealed that their next piece is going to be Godzilla 2002, and that has gone on pre-order this week at all the import sites. What we did find out in the last 24 hours, a little less than 24 hours now, is that Bluefin will not be importing that here in the US. So I'm not sure what the availability is at this point in the day, because I'm sure with that news out, people are scrambling. But go check it out. Check out all the import sites if you haven't. If you want to put in your orders for Godzilla 2002, please do so right now. I don't mind if you pause the video and go check it out. Check Hobby Search, check HLJ. I know HLJ is order stop actually. Ami, and even like some other sites like, I don't know, Nippon Yasan and CD Japan and all that. So give those a check, you know, and if you want to put in your order for Godzilla 2002, Bluefin will not be bringing it over for whatever reason. They have had a problem in the past year with new Godzilla molds. So a lot of speculation, but yeah, not 100% sure on the reason, and we may never know. So there you go. Sorry for the little aside, but I wanted to get that in there for folks that want to order that. Because, you know, we're talking about a repaint here anyway, and I wanted to chunk it up a little bit. What I'm going to do right now, actually, is go over the articulation. I know it's a little, you know, a little out of order, but that's fine, because we're really here for the paint. You know, like, what did they do here? How does it look? Blah, blah, blah. So I want to get the other stuff out of the way, because the articulation is the same. There's nothing really changed from the other ones we've seen, and we've seen it a bunch of times. But I always want to do stuff. You got a joint right in there, ball joint in there, hinged jaw, another joint right there, joint in there, so you see it layers upwards. You got the joint hinged. Oh, man, it's tight on that side. Tight on both sides. At the shoulder, so you're not getting a huge range of motion. The swivel here in the arm, it's all ball jointed, so you can go side to side a little bit too. And then it is a double jointed elbow there. It's covered up nicely, as Monsterarts tend to do. There's a hinge in these things. No, it's a ball joint, so you just really get in swivel, maybe a little bit back and forth, but that's not due to a hinge or anything. Then you got the big ball joint in the middle here. Very tight on mine. Same thing with the waist, super, super tight. Ooh, and squeaky and scary. I do have a bigger gap, I feel like, than usual here in my thigh here. Let's bring in one of the left. I guess it's all the same. There's a big gap in there as well. Oh man, my little platform of boxes fell over. That I was putting my guys on. So yeah, you just gotta cover it up. Move around the joint in there, which thankfully the hip joint on this mold is actually really good. It is a little loose on my Ultimate Burning one, but it's not as bad. This one is not as bad, so that's good. Knee joint here, it's double jointed, so it's good and gives you a lot of range of motion. I mean, if you could get it, but it is there and it's covered up really well, which I love. And it swivels around. Ooh, it swivels around in here, so that's good. Then swivel there. You can move his foot around as well, separately. Very cool. And then, of course, the tail is always good, and I popped off at the joint there. It's one of these types of ball joints. I forget what these are called exactly, but let's see if we get the tail on. Without a hitch, and we have, I think. So you got joint there, joint there. I'm not gonna move around super much because it is very tight, I'm noticing on this one. Ooh, very, very tight, hence why I was able to pull it out like so, because there was no give. But there is joints right in here and here and here. Joint there, joint there, joint there, joint, no joint there, but joint, yeah, there is a joint there actually. Yep, lots and lots of joints. And then this is one piece from here on. So, you know, as usual, it's very good, very tight on mine. Ooh, oh, now I did it again. So I feel like I'm gonna have to like possibly get some heat on this thing before putting it on the shelf to get that tail in right. All right. Woo-wee! So there you go. That's how it functions. Very tight for the most part. Very tight on this one. So that's a thing. So be careful with it. You don't want to really like inadvertently break a joint. Like I felt like I almost did just now with the tail. But yeah, as far as look, well, Sculpt, I mean, it is exactly what we've said, you know. It's that mold, but, you know, just to say it again, this is obviously, they use this one for a reason. It's very well known, very popular in Japan, and as far as the actual Godzilla. And it looks good, you know? It's a really good looking sculpt. And it lends itself well for a lot of these repaints, you know? So it's a great base Godzilla. I can't really fault them for using it as much as they have. Am I sick of it? Sure. I want them to do other stuff? Yes. But I understand it, and I've gotten them all, and I like them all, so I can't really, except for the first Burning Godzilla. I don't really like that one that much. But yeah, this, you know, I mean, it's just good. It's like, I love, you know, the spines always look good, and the head looks very good, and he's just got a great stature to him, so yeah, it's a good mold. There's no doubt about it. And as far as the paint, again, this is what we're here for. If you did get this one, if you skipped out on it, I understand. You didn't have to get it. But if you did get it, you know, and you got it for the paint, I think for the most part, it's good, but there's some sloppiness to it. I think overall it's going to look fine when you get it all set up and posed, but, you know, like, there is definitely some meh to it. The eyes look good. I really dig how they look. It's really, really cool, actually. So, like, kind of like fireballs in there. That's awesome. The mouth looks good. And I believe the tail articulates. The tail, the tongue. If I can get my finger in there, but I can't. The teeth look very good. I have no problem with the teeth on mine, so that looks good. Let's do the nails next, and then we'll move on. Nails on the hands look good. Oh, and speaking of which, I forgot. The only other accessory that this Godzilla comes with is, you know, a little bit more open hands. Where the paint is not so hot on these, as far as the nails go. So, there's that. I will be keeping these on there because both nails look good there. And the toenails are decent. They don't look bad, in my opinion. So, okay, so let's do the scales here, because herein, I think this is where some of the sloppiness is, like, it just looks sprayed on, some blue and some white up there, as well as here. There's no real, I don't think it's very well done. It's more like, kind of like a vinyl, you know, like, the way it's just kind of haphazardly put on. As far as at least the blue bottom coat, like, actually this is translucent plastic. Now that I'm looking at it, this is translucent plastic. I think, yeah, that's translucent. So the way they did is they painted over a translucent plastic here. Trying to see if I can see it. Yep, totally translucent. Sorry, you couldn't see that. But yeah, you know, like, I think the white frosted tips look good. That kind of blends it out a little bit. But for sure, it just feels like there's a feeling of just quick spray for the blues, in my opinion. It's not terrible, but, like, it's not perfect either. I mean, it especially looks bad in here. You know, like, I wish that was done a little bit differently. And especially at the top of the head there. That just looks bad. You know, they should have extended the white a little bit more or something. So that's a mixed bag. The paint wash over him, which creates that look of really, really scaly skin, like, with the kind of orange bits and green bits and blue bits. Like, it creates, like, this, like, shiny scale. But I like that. I like how the chest looks a lot. A little extra orange maybe around the neck here. But overall, it's, you know, it's not painted badly. I think that's a cool look. It definitely gives it a unique and different look. You know, going down his arms here. It's blended pretty well. Definitely in his legs as well is looking good. I just like the blends of the 3 or maybe even 4 different colors. It definitely gives us its own vibe, and that's cool. The one place where it does feel a little messy is the tail. It feels like almost like each individual segment's a different color, and there's not much blending going on. So I don't know about that. I think that could have been done a little better. It gets better towards the end here as it blends from one color to the other, but it just seems like plop, 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 plop. You know, not really done very well on the tail. That's my opinion on that. But otherwise, I dig it, you know. Like, I could still dig it. I'm, you know, like, issues like that are bad, but, like, I kind of look at things as a whole, and I factor in, even though I don't talk about it too much here, I factor in intangibles. Like, there's something about a figure overall that, you know, makes me like it or not. So maybe I should talk about that more on my reviews, the intangibles. Because I think a lot of figures do have that, and they make you feel a certain way. And there's something about this guy that I really dig. Now, one thing that I was kind of on the fence about, I don't care that he doesn't come with a beam effect. I really don't. I have no problem with it. I don't really set up my guys with beam effects. But a little bit of an effect in his mouth to just look like that, the opening of a beam, or if it was even painted that color, I would, like, kind of to match his scales, I wouldn't have minded that. That would have been kind of cool. Maybe there is some sort of effect part that I'm, you know, not thinking about right now that I have in my collection that I could put in his mouth to mimic that. I'm sure I could find something or make something, because that's all I would want. I would want to mimic this. I don't want an effect part, like a beam effect part completely, you know. So, yeah. Overall, not bad. Not so bad at all. I don't know. I like it. I mean, I'll see once I get the Chigoku Mechagodzilla going how they look together, and we will definitely be looking at them together in that review. I'm hoping sometime within the next week, you know. So we'll take a look at them together. If you want to see some size comparisons with this guy, you know, let's bring in some of the characters I have here on the desk. Here's this Deadpool Back in Black figure, and just a couple of the figures we've done recently. Leonardo, so you can see he's in the 6-inch scale. Here is Jazz from Power of the Primes. Here is Noob Saibot from Mortal Kombat Storm Collectibles, and Ultraman Orb. Hoping to do that review very soon. I keep saying these things. EVA 01, his arm just came off. NX Edge style, that's fine. All my EVA 01s tend to do that for some reason. And that's it, guys. That's all I have on this poster version Godzilla here. So let me know your thoughts. Did you pick it up? Did you have like a lot of issues with the paints? On what did you have issues with? I'd like to know. I want to know people's various opinions, because with SH Monsterarts in general, I feel like within a production line, we've gotten so many different variants, paint, good, bad, ugly, you know, it's been all over the board. So let me know your thoughts. I'm very curious to see who picked this up and how your experiences was. Mine is on the, you know, it's not the greatest, but it's not the worst either. So I could dig it. I really dig those eyes, and I really dig the paint of his skin. It looks really cool in my opinion. Alright guys, that's all I got, so please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to go, if you haven't already, go order your Godzilla 2002s from an import site. And if you have missed out on most of those pre-orders, you can put the link to a particular pre-order in figinstock.com, and it'll alert you when somebody like cancels an order or something and they re-put it up. Very handy tool. I've used it many times in the past. Alright guys, so that's all I got. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Once again, peace out, peeps.